What's up, YouTube? I'm back. Welcome to another video. Today I've got an Altergeist deck profile. In my opinion, probably going to be one of the best rogue decks in the format right now. Um, at least in certain matchup. Well, the way I have this deck built, it should be good in a lot of different matchups as long as the ball gets rolling and you don't actually have to open with Multi-Faker. So, let's kick it off. Starting us off in the deck profile, we're obviously going to be playing 3 of the best cards in the deck. 3 copies of Altergeist Multi-Faker. Multi-Faker has the effect that if you activate a trap, you can special summon this card from your hand. And then, if you special summon it, or if it's special summoned, you get to special summon an Altergeist from your deck in defense position. Except for Multi-Faker. And then it locks you out of summoning anything that's not an Altergeist card until the end of or for the rest of the turn. One of the best cards in the deck, actually the best card in the deck, was at 1 for a while, and then it went to 3 when the format got too fast for trap cards to do anything. Next, we've got 3 copies of the next best card in the deck. 3 copies of Marionetter. Marionetter, when Marionetter is normal summon, you get to set an Altergeist trap from your deck. And then she can send a face-up Altergeist you control to the graveyard to special summon one with different... Special summon... Wait. From your deck... Oh. Blah, 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 blah. Oh no, it just reborns a Altergeist from the graveyard by sending one you control to the grave. So it can swap itself out for another card. It can, get anything out of the graveyard. And then next, we're running 3 copies of Melee Seek, because Melee Seek is really good removal. Can attack your opponent directly, and whenever it inflicts damage to your opponent, you get to target a card they control and send it to the graveyard. Not destroy it, but send it. And then whenever it's sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add an Altergeist monster from your deck to your hand, except itself. So, searches out your Multi-Faker, searches out Marionetter. Marionetter can send it to the graveyard to get extra searches. Pretty strong card. Next one, I see a lot of people run this next one at 2, but I'm going to be running it at 3, and that is Altergeist Silk is what I'm going to call it because, yeah. This one has the effect that, or it's a quick effect where you can target an Altergeist you control, or an Altergeist card you control, and a card your opponent controls and bounce them back to the hand. And then if it's sent to the graveyard, you can target an Altergeist trap in your graveyard and add it back to your hand. Next, for our one-off monsters, we have 1 Pukuri. It is basically like a microcoder. It can link summon by using itself as material in the hand, but when you do link summon, you can add it back to your hand, and that adding back to hand effect is once per duel. So use this wisely, and that's kind of why we run it as a one-of. And then I'm running Altergeist Conquery. Conquery has the effect that when your opponent declares an attack, you can special summon it from your hand. And if you do, you negate the attack, and you can target a monster your opponent controls and negate its effects while Conquery is face up on the board. Then for the Altergeist traps, we are running 3 copies of Altergeist Protocol. Protocol is obviously super strong, probably one of the strongest trap cards ever printed in an archetype. Has the effect that all your Altergeist stuff can't be negated. All your Altergeist monsters can't be negated. Then also has the effect where you can send one other face-up Altergeist card you control to the graveyard to negate and destroy a monster effect that your opponent activated. Pretty good card, if I say so myself. Then I'm running 3 copies of Personal Spoofing. This card is so good. It fixes your hand, it grabs you multi-faker. Basically, you shuffle an Altergeist from your hand or face-up field back into the deck, and then you add an Altergeist from your deck to your hand. Pretty solid card. Then we have the one of Altergeist Manifestation. Basically called by the or not called the Haunted, but for Altergeists, you can target a Geist, special summon it, equip it with this card. When this card leaves the field, you destroy the monster. When the monster leaves the field, you destroy this card. You can also banish this card from your graveyard to target an Altergeist monster in your graveyard and add it back to your hand. And that is all I have for the Altergeist cards in the deck. And it's honestly probably the proper ratio. I do have a side deck for this that does have another Altergeist trap card in there, but it's a side deck card for a reason. So for the generic cards that we're running, I'm running triple Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring in the main. Obviously, one of the best hand traps ever made. And then we're running 3 copies of Pot of Extravagance. I highly recommend that if you have the money for Pot of Prosperity, which is $136 a piece right now, I would play Prosperity over this. Obviously, if you're playing like online tournaments, Prosperity over Extrav all day, every day. But until Prosperity gets a reprint and it goes down in value, Extrav is probably the best option we have. Banishing 6 cards out of your extra deck when you don't really need to go into it that often is like, just free draw or free card draw. Next, I'm playing 3 copies of Secret Village of the Spellcasters. One of the best floodgates this deck can run, in my opinion. It basically says if you control a spellcaster, your opponent doesn't have access to 30% of the cards in, or it doesn't have access to a third of the cards in the game. Pretty nice. Then I'm running 3 Crossout Designator and 1 Called by the Grave. For obvious reasons, we don't like hand traps here, so yeah. We don't like hand traps hitting our stuff. Next, I'm running 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Obviously self-explanatory, it's 3 copies of Effect Veiler, that's a trap card, so going second, this card lets you summon Multi-Faker without even actually having to have anything on your board. 2 Anti-Spell, and 1 Metaverse to help us find the Secret Village. Anti-Spell to prevent our opponents from being able to use blowout cards right away, like Feather Duster and all that. And that is it for the main deck. So, before we get into this extra deck, I want to ask you guys something. What deck do you want to see me make next? Because I've thought about making a couple of decks, and one of them is Pure Tenyi. I just want to know your guys' thoughts, and just let me know down in the comment section below. Also, if you're new to the channel, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. I'm trying to hit 150 subs before the end of the year, and we're only at 108, but I've also been pretty inactive because of life, so sorry about that. Anyways, let's get into the extra deck. The extra deck is going to be pretty dumb, because it's literally 3 of every single Geist Link monster, including Hextia, which, I'm going to be honest with you, Hextia is really the only one that's worth making. It gains attack equal to what it gains attack equal to the Geist monster it points to, and then it has a floating effect. Like I said, you're not really going to go into the extra deck that much. If you want to read up on the extra deck stuff, feel free. And because I'm gonna be honest, I haven't read these before making this profile. I probably should have, so I could have told you what they all do. But I've read Hextia, and Hextia is really in all the test handing I've done with this deck off camera, I've only ever made Hextia twice in probably almost 50 test hands. So yeah. And then we are running a nightmare package of Unicorn, Cerberus, and Phoenix. Um, this is honestly just because this deck wants to control with what's in the main deck, and then just kind of slowly burn your opponent out. Because this deck can generate 2 to 4 interruptions every turn without the extra deck. It is insane. So, yeah. That is the extra deck. Now, let's get into the side deck. The side deck is a little spicy, but I will actually go over like certain cards in the side deck because of relevance. I am playing 3 copies of Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion in the side. As far as I'm aware, there's not really a whole lot of graveyard strategies in the meta, but I believe it's still going to be a really good card. I am a little out of touch right now. I am planning to kind of like start learning the meta again, and if there's, a decent amount of graveyard recursion, Bell is obviously going to be a million times stronger than Ash. Just kidding, but next we are running sorry, drop the cards. We are running 3 copies of Effect Veiler. Veiler is probably one of your best cards to see against Flu. So we're running anti-Flu with Veiler being the anti-Flu card. Obviously, for going second, we are running 3 copies of Evenly Matched because it's, basically a staple in this deck. You go battle phase, end of battle, evenly, force out a negate from your opponent. And then we're also playing 3 copies of Rivalry of Warlords. So, this card is just kind of in here because Goes and Match hurts us and Rivalry doesn't. So we're running this. If you want, you can slot out the Rivalry for any other hand trap. Droll and Lockbird is getting a reprint soon, so if you want to pick up Droll and Lockbirds and put them in over the Rivalry, go ahead and pick up some Drolls. Now for one of the weirder side deck options, and that is 2 copies of Altergeist Failover. Failover I had in the main, but then I was like, it's not good enough to be in the main. It has the effect that whenever your Altergeist is destroyed by card effect, only by card effect, you can summon one from your hand, and then you can banish it from the graveyard to target an Altergeist or Altergeist monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So it's basically in the graveyard, it's 2 more copies of your Altergeist manifestation, but it's a continuous trap that just kind of disincentivizes your opponent from wanting to board wipe you with like Lightning Storm. But then your opponent's just gonna wipe your back row, and yeah. And then we're playing the 3rd copy of Anti-Spell in the side, just in case you do go against another deck that's not very spell heavy. You can side out your 2 copies of Anti-Spell in the main for your failovers, because more than likely they're going to be relying on card effect removal. So you're going to side into your card effect removal or your anti-card effect removal card, and this is just kind of the way I've gone with the deck, is trying to play to where you set up as much inconvenient or as many inconveniences for your opponent as possible. So, anyways, guys, like I said just a few minutes ago, if you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. It's 100% free, and I really hate begging for subs, but at this point, I kind of have to. um, and hopefully, I should start streaming again. Because I really do want to finish up that Minecraft hardcore world, even though, yes, we've only gotten a 3-hour stream into it, and then the stream kind of crashed. I didn't do anything after the stream crashed. I just sat there and was like, didn't know what to do. So, yeah. Let me know your guys' thoughts on my Altergeist deck profile for the current format. And, hopefully I'll be able to start doing this again. Right now I'm unemployed I don't have any income right now, so I can't really just go and buy cards. But if you guys want more videos, let me know what you guys want to see, and whenever I get revenue coming in, I will 100% start building more decks, start showing you guys test hand videos. Like, if you guys want to see me do test hands with this deck, I'll certainly show you test hands with this deck. I love this deck so far, and I'm enjoying playing it. I don't think anybody's going to enjoy playing against it. Anyways, final words of the video. Like, subscribe. Feel free to comment whatever you want to comment. And I will see you guys next time when I do anything with my channel. And hopefully it's not going to be a month down the road. Peace.